start up the episode again. We have a court. I'm in a real courtroom. Look at that harsh expression on his face.
Yeah.
Actually,
Bit much for you, buddy?
Actually, I mean, he's only 20, so like, it's probably like in regular standard times, it's probably like his first real trial that he's leading.
Yeah, it has to be.
But actually entering the courtroom has taken a lot of wind out of your sails. You've never been here as an attorney before. You've only acted as Mr. Moore's assistant, yeah, so... Also, I love the name Arya.
Madam.
Just because it's one of those things that's... because it's funny because Arya is like a wind-based name. So it's like, winds, steel winds.
Or, it also counts as like song, too.
Yeah. But the woman at the prosecutor bench is staring at her. Also, can I just say, love her outfits, love her hair, and I love her little hat.
Okay.
Look, I can appreciate good art style in this game.
Fair.
Mr. Moore mentioned her before he went to see Celeste. What was her name again? I think it was Arya Steelwind.
Imagine that's not even her real name.
It's probably a real name.
Imagine it isn't, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
you just remember it wrong.
that would be funny. But I assume the guy's remembering it right. You can feel the coldness of her glare burning into her. Why is she staring you down? Is she trying to intimidate you? Because it's working. And the judge. Kind of reminds me from the judge from Ace Attorney.
It does. Only a little more bold.
Do you want to be the judge?
Court is now in session for a trial of Celeste McCoy.
He's apparently 80 years old and has no arcane arts.
Maybe speak that voice instead.
I think your other voice is probably a little bit better, but I like both of them.
The prosecution's ready, Your Honor.
Oh, the defense is also ready, Your Honor.
He doesn't necessarily sound very ready.
Regardless, let's begin proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges.
The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage.
Wait, did you just say mercenary?
Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern was shut down.
Oh, right. That's exactly the first occupation you'd choose.
She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts.
I see, so there was magic involved.
Yes, the crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. The locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance. It was then that he found the victim, the defendant's sword still impaling his dead body. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sword.
Autopsy report, Flintheart McCoy, type clue, died after being stabbed from behind with magical blade. Fatal wound shown, heavy traces of transmutation magic, which is her magic type. Celeste's sword, type clue, the alleged murder weapon. It's a knightly designed sword, but has no magical properties.
That is not the same sword. I can already say that much.
Yeah, well, no, the thing is, we didn't really get a good look at the sword and body.
Yeah, I guess
But the
so.
thing is, if there was transmutation magic involved, my guess is that because her regular sword has no magical properties, that whatever the guy's name is, transmutated presumably the liquid in the bottle to mimic her blade, and that's why there's traces of transmutation magic.
Maybe. Possibly.
What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the same last name.
The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood.
Oh.
She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown.
I see. What an unfortunate turn of events.
To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orm White to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Name's Orm White, Commander of the Arcane Inquisition.
Could you please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation?
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me, like, of a smarter, what's his name, detective from Ace Attorney.
Detective Gumshoe, or Detective.
No, Detective Gumshoe.
But Detective's so much funnier.
Detective Gumshoe. Witness testimony.
We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flynnhart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. We have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. Their argument must have been turned ugly, because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword.
Isn't that really incriminating? One of her possessions is the murder weapon.
Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
You open your mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. You can't think of anything to say. Everything is blank.
Mr. Cuthbert?
What are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right?
I just realized you're playing every single character except...
I know! This is I am... Hey, it's at least giving me practice of switching voices on the spot.
Yeah, like in Reborn.
Don't get me started on that one.
I'm sorry, I don't... Your anxiety is just getting worse, and your breaths are becoming more and more desperate. Are you hyperventilating?
What a disappointment. I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Tamora today. But it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her.
Don't get me started, Miss Arya Steelwinds, who's only 18 in arcane art of evocation.
Your Honor, it's clear that the defense has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence.
Yep, this case is pretty open and shut.
No, wait. This isn't what's supposed to happen. I'm sorry. I couldn't acquit Frey. She was found guilty. What? That means... Are they going to execute her? No, not again. Are you seriously going to let that happen again?
Tyrion!
Oh, Celestia grabs your shoulders and shakes you out of your panic.
You need to calm down!
Face smack, back and forth.
Stop panicking!
Her gaze is calm and focused, despite the gravity of the situation, but she looks stern, not angry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to...
Stop. Just listen to me. You know what to do, right? Just do it the same way you play chess.
What?
I don't know. You were just so calm and focused when we were playing before. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces.
That doesn't make any sense, and yet... Take a moment to focus and let everything disappear from the world. Every statement that he made, every word that came out of his mouth. Each of those possible weaknesses that you can attack. Every big moment that can be turned around. You just need to consider every angle. My apologies for the delay, Your Honor. The defense is ready to begin cross-examining the witness.
Very well.
There we go. Thank God that worked. I was hoping I did not have to strangle him.
Carefully examining every statement that made to find that something that contradicts the evidence in your notes. Once you do that, present the contradicting evidence and prove that this testimony is false. Cross-examination. You're cross-examining a witness. Carefully examine each statement they made and find the statement that contradicts a clue, a spell, or a profile in your notes. Once you identify that false statement, click Present button, present the contradicting evidence to move forward. So we can definitely So who specifically found the dead body in the tavern? Yeah. So what exactly time did you get this call, and who discovered the body?
The call came in at 1:25 a.m. As for the witness who discovered it, he wanted to remain incognito.
It's not unusual for a witness to stay anonymous. It's well within their rights. But this would be a lot easier if you could just question the witness directly.
What happened when you arrived, Commander?
When we arrived at the scene, we found him dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside him. I mean, I don't think we need to press it, but should we just press it just in case?
I mean, it never hurts to press, unless it does hurt.
How did you know that the sword was my client's?
Her sword's made out of some kind of special alloy. I think it was forged out of the country or something. It'd be hard to mistake something like that.
We also have several eyewitnesses who verified that the sword belonged to the defendant. She made no effort to hide it from the public. Quite the contrary, she was quite proud to show it off.
But that means another transmutation mage could have copied it.
Yeah.
But even if the sword belonged to my client, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one who stabbed him.
Yeah, well...
We have several witnesses who had the victim and defendant in a large argument before the body was discovered. How did they know it was my client and the victim that were arguing?
You were there, weren't you? You have to have heard them too. Every witness we talked to knew it was them.
Well...
Your Honor, it's clear that the defense is playing devil's advocate. Even he should have recognized their voices.
Well, they got you there. The argument must have turned ugly, but the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. That's conjecture. Weren't there plenty of people around who could have committed the crime?
The tavern has been closed for years. The defendant, the victim, and Ruby Timora were the only ones there before the body was discovered. Plus, the murder weapon definitely belonged to her.
Well, it's a given that Miss Timora didn't do this, and it's hard to prove that someone else was at the crime scene. But you can't help but feel there's something off about what he just said. You shouldn't have panicked so much before. His testimony is straightforward, but what will actually make this easier? Assuming that Miss McCoy is innocent, there has to be a flaw in his logic. I think it's that last statement. You just need to compare every statement to each piece of your evidence in your notes. Once you find a contradiction, present that piece of evidence. Yeah, because I think using her magic sword, but the sword, it has no magical properties. So I think
it's made of, like, alloy and all.
Commander White, you testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene.
I think you actually have to disagree with you on that. The defendant's sword couldn't possibly be the murder weapon.
What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course, that's what killed him.
That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. It states that the fatal wound had heavy traces of magic. So how could a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body?
What?
Also, metal arm?
Dots for real? Is that you? Wait a minute.
To leave a trace like that, the wound would have had to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it's entirely mundane.
It doesn't make a lick of sense. If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I find it quite strange as well.
Well, there's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. The wound was created magically, and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterwards.
The hell are you talking about? The defendant is a damned mage. She could have easily killed the victim using magic.
That may be, Commander, but why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself. Very same, Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
No, if anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and then they pushed my client's sword into the room to frame her.
Objection!
Objection!
Don't get ahead of yourself.
What?
Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favor. He claims that a third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Magic is being channeled through the sword at the time of death. That is what left the magical trace on the body. Commander, please tell the defense how the murder was committed using magic.
What? Alright. I think I see where you're going with this.
Witness testimony.
It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. That defendant over there, her spell compendium has a spell called Mage Blade.
Huh.
Okay. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound.
So her spell compendium contains a spell called Mage Blade. A spell compendium is a magical device that lists every spell a mage can cast. Luckily, Celeste's compendium only contains one spell. That means she can only cast that one spell. Celeste, do you have your spell compendium with you?
No, I left it at the tavern after... Well, you know.
If you can't look at the description of it for Mage Blade, you'll have to approach this another way. The commander's testimony is a lot vaguer this time. If you can press his statements, you might be able to find new information that you can use against him. Pressing statements. During cross-examination, you can press statements to acquire more information. Sometimes pressing the right statements can make the witness add statements to their testimony. Okay, yeah, I don't think we need to press on, hey, magic can be channeled through it.
Yeah.
I think we need to press on, hey, her spell component can just... about Mage Blade. Like, tell us about the spell. Mage Blade?
It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor.
Oh.
You didn't realize that she led such a lethal lifestyle. But anyways, wouldn't it be excessive for the defendant to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of death.
The victim and defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion, after all.
Ugh, that theory is a little far-fetched, but you need hard evidence if you want to disprove it. I think we... Okay, press more on that. Because she just said, like, hey, it's a crime of passion, so, like, what?
Yeah.
But why would she go through the trouble of doing that? Her sword alone would have been enough to commit the murder.
Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Isn't it just your own personal biases, Commander?
You don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is that magic was present at the crime. Do you have any evidence of the contrary?
You don't yet. So that spell is the reason why. How can you be so sure it was that spell, though? If she used a spell like that, wouldn't that create traces of magic on the ground?
How so?
Well, let's just say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean the victim fell to the ground with the sword still inside him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? It would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it.
We're already way ahead of you.
Ew, look at that smile. Ugh.
Oh my god. We had our people scan the crime scene. And we found traces of transmutation magic right under the body, just like you said.
Oh.
If you still don't believe me, I have a picture of the crime scene right here.
Oh, why was this picture not brought to my attention?
There were no need. This entire case is open and shut.
Crime scene picture, type clue, picture of Flint McCoy after he was murdered.
Celeste, look away.
You've seen pictures of the dead before, but this feels different now that the body is someone you knew. It looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. But this shape is a little weird, isn't it? So it looks like there's a pool of blood right around here. And a pool of blood around here.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously all fully around him. There's like lines and stuff. I mean, I'm not sure what specifically is the focus, but maybe it's the grid marks?
Yeah, I'm thinking the hexagons are showing like that's where the traces of magic are.
Yeah. Shape's a little weird, isn't it? What was that just now? You can see right in this photo she killed him with a stab wound to the front. I'm gonna press a bit further on that.
Yeah.
Right, this photo does show that you stabbed in the front. But why do you feel like there's something wrong with this picture? This would be a lot easier if you knew the parameters of Mage Blade. Perhaps you can get him to add statements or evidence to his testimony. The only thing now... Okay, so I guess we have to press on the first one.
Press on the first one, the one we don't have to press on.
No, but that's the only one we haven't pressed on. So
yeah.
it's true that the sword itself is magical, but can be channeled through it. Are you saying that my client used this spell and channeled it through her sword?
There are a vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells from the School of Transmutation are almost always channeled through an object.
Okay. So...
Right.
Okay. Traces of transmutation magic, no magical...
Wait. The autopsy. Go back to the autopsy real quick. He was stabbed from behind with a magical blade.
Oh.
Not from the front.
Yeah. She stabbed him with the front, yeah. Yeah, that... Objection! I'm sorry, Commander White, but it seems like you've presented another glaring contradiction.
Oh yeah? And what's that?
You said that my client stabbed the victim from the front. Am I correct?
Yeah, you can see it in plain in that picture. So where's your contradiction?
That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows that the victim was stabbed from the front, but the autopsy report said that he died from a stab from behind.
What?
Objection! Objection!
Orem, you were supposed to release everything that you had. Why wasn't this photo given to me?
There was no need. There was no way it could have been anyone other than that damn mage.
Dun dun dun! Murmurings ring out from the gallery.
Yes, racism.
Yes! It didn't matter how corrupt the justice system was. They wouldn't be able to cover up such a blatant incompetence. You have them right where you want them. Order in the court. Can I get a milkshake?
I'd like a number 7.
I also do want some fries, or so like something like a salty snack, like a salty chip.
Dang, I'm hungry again.
Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you what the meaning of... Oh, I just realized I read your line. Whatever.
Right now.
I'll tell you what the meaning behind this is, Your Honor. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from his back, but this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound has already been created. God, I want to make a joke.
Do it.
No. I'm sure you know where my mind's going.
Yeah.
I will just leave it at that.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, wonk, wonk.
That's crazy! Do you honestly expect us to believe that?
Then please, enlighten me, Commander White. How else would the sword be facing the opposite way? Do you think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of her sword?
Yes.
I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client, but they made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side.
Objection!
It appears that I underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert. But you've still got ahead of yourself.
Really, Miss Steelwind. I believe that Miss Cuthbert has adequately cast doubt on your case.
Oh, did he now? Let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Flintheart McCoy, then who did?
How should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure that out.
Oh, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence. But one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town?
You don't like where she's going with this.
Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town. And that mage is your client.
What? Rabble.
The defendant was also established as met with the victim hours before his death. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question.
I see. That certainly does change matters. I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable. But there is still evidence that casts guilt upon the defendant.
Damn it, you almost had them.
Far too many unanswered questions for me to pass the verdict. We'll give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct their investigation more thoroughly this time. We'll resume the trial tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned.
I don't have a hammer or a gavel.
Hello, Cuthbert. As you walk out of the courtroom with Celeste, you're greeted by Miss Demora. Miss Demora, you're here? You recall how you froze during the first cross-examination. Feel a little ashamed that your mentor saw all of that. Well, at the end of the day, you were able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. On that note, I want to give you this. Celestial Spell Compendium. Type clue.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, it's Celeste McCoy's Spell Compendium. Contains a formula on the following spell, Mage Blade. But now to your notes. Mage Blade. School, Transmutation, Incantation, Arcane. Gesture, none. Duration, 1 minute. Concentration, yes. This reminds me of, like, D&D.
Yeah.
Where it's verbal, it only has a verbal component, which is... For the duration of the spell, the edges of this object, usually a blade, becomes unnaturally sharp, making it more effective at slashing through tough material. While under the effects of the spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. There was no yellow glow.
No, it was green.
No, it was more of a blue.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh no, am I colorblind suddenly?
I think it's probably like a bluish cyan, probably.
Maybe.
The target object must be no longer than a 5-foot cube.
My spell compendium?
I swiped it from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. I thought it'd be best for you to have it. So this is your spell compendium. It only has one spell.
Mage Blade.
This means that the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used a specific spell. It will restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else. You mean Prosecutor Steelwind? You can still remember her ripping glare. It gives you just chills just thinking about it. You wouldn't even know it, but it was. But this was also her first trial. Interesting.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that her inexperience would make her for a good first opponent, which I'm not too surprised about. But yeah, definitely something to think about. But that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. Yeah, that she is. Which that makes me wonder why Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place.
Oh?
So she knows of the Steelwind heritage.
What do you mean?
Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. Of the noble families, they're one of the few who answer directly to the king. Interesting. Most members of their house take high-ranking positions in the kingdom's military. So that's a bit strange why she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. Steelwind. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. In any case, it is best that you focus on the trial. You have about a day until the court resumes. Right, now that I have time, I would like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely about that argument you had with your father.
Oh.
You see the bailiff staring daggers at Celeste. It looks like they're waiting to take her back to her cell. Whatever questions you have for her will have to wait.
I should probably go.
Celeste walks away while avoiding eye contact with you. Bringing up her argument with Flintheart may have struck a nerve. Also use this opportunity to investigate the crime scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something. You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to make the same mistake twice. Right, there's still a lot of things we don't know about. As much as I hate to admit it, your skills of deduction far surpass mine. If anyone can figure out what really happened that night, it's you. Now, this is actually a pretty good place to save this here and end this current episode here.